Well, it's another blessed day full of hope and inspiration. Welcome to Better Future Production, and today the Business Plus Show as usual. With me in the studio is Sehu Balajo. Sehu Balajo is the Executive Director of HMD Charity Foundation in the Gambia. Mr. Balajo, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fatih.
Thank you. Welcome to the studio. We're talking about the role of organizations in the fight against COVID-19. We've seen there are different institutions or organizations that are playing their quota to fight COVID-19. What is your opinion, Mr. Balajo, about what role should organizations play to fight COVID-19 in the Gambia?
Thank you very much, Mr. Fadi, for that wonderful question, because I believe now is the time that every organization needs to be involved in one way or the other to fight COVID-19, because COVID-19 is a nightmare for the entire globe, which we all agree in that collectively. Even those countries that call themselves superpower countries right now, they are on their knees crying for help, especially we, the Gambia, that is termed a third world countries. So definitely this is a fight that we cannot leave with the authorities alone, let's say for example with the health ministry alone or the government alone, but this is a fight for every individual, from government level, organizational level, or individual level, because that is the only way that we can win this fight. Organizations' responsibility is to save lives in different aspects, because their existence depends on life. So if this COVID-19 is a threat towards our life, then obviously organization will not exist. It will affect their existence. That is why it is important that we all involve in sensitizations to create awareness. And if you involve with employees, like the government, like the ministries are saying, that we should reduce and create social distance. If you can lay off some of the employees, this is the best time you can do that. But not only laying them off, but also providing them with something, so that when they are laid off, they can have something to sustain themselves and their family, so that they can be off the streets. Not only that, this is the time the organizations that are blessed, that have been collecting so much income in our country, to give back in any way possible they can. Just for example, like, future production is doing right now, like you guys are doing right now, creating free airtime, creating opportunities with your professions to give people time to speak out on the impact of COVID-19, to use your professions to spread the information. This is a responsibility that you people are doing as an organization. And imagine we have different kind of organization here in the Gambia.
Yes.
Starting from the food production, going down to the last person. If you are an organization that depends on food production, this is the time you have to bring your price down as much as possible. Or this is even the time that you can give out free food to your communities, to your localities where you stay. Because it is organization responsible to give back to its people. So this is the time that organizations have a great role to give back to fight COVID-19. I believe together, if we all join our hands together, the government, organizations, individual level, then definitely COVID-19 will be a history for us.
You mentioned that organizations need to play their role in the fight against COVID-19. You also mentioned some of the things that organizations need to do in order to fight COVID-19. Now, what is your organization doing? What angle is your organization coming to tackle COVID-19 in the Gambia?
Thank you very much for that question. Like you already aware, our organization is a non-profit organization. Its name is simply HMD Charity Foundation. It simply means helping to make a difference. And we came into existence since 2016. We just Gambians, young Gambians for that matter, who feel like there is a need to intervene for the needy, for the less privileged, to be the voice of the voiceless, of those individuals who are forgotten by the communities. And we are people of different background, different professions. We have carpenters in our midst, we have teachers, we have business personnel, we have students. And we see that as a Gambian, as an indigene of a country, it is very important not to always ask yourself, what can your country do for you, but what can you do for your country? This is something we are doing on our free time. So we decided to come together and brainstorm within ourselves, and instead of spending our free time on certain leisure time, but we can spend this thing and give it back to our people. Because we come to understand, if you go out on the streets today, the number of beggars that are coming on the street every day is increasing by the day. And we all know that. And some of them, it's not because it's not because they are not financially okay, but simply because they don't have good advice. They don't have people who inspire them, people to mentor them. Some of them, they just need a small push and they will make it in life. And they are forgotten simply because they don't have. This is why we came into existence. And we are doing this through a series of projects, like we are doing business packages for families that we believe they can make it if they are pushed. We are doing Ramadan packages. Through the Ramadan, we help families out, families that we know they will fast all the whole day, but they find it difficult to have a simple iftar with their loved ones. We provide for them, and every year we do this thing. Like the first year, we reach out to 15 families. The second year, 30 families. The third year, 57 families. And last year, we were able to feed 200 families throughout the Ramadan. Each family received a package of $3,000. We are doing water aid projects to communities that are in need. We're doing Kurbani projects during Eid. We know some families where all families are there enjoying the blessing of Eid, killing a Kurbani, sacrificing Kurbanis, having time with your families. Some of these families, they eat meat only once a year.
Now, Mr. Balajo, let me cut you there. We're coming to the Ramadan again this year, which is just some days, to go. Now, in this particular period of time, we are also hit by a very, 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 very difficult pandemic, or let me say great pandemic, is the coronavirus. People are indoors, people cannot access food, and then businesses have lockdown. Difficulties everywhere.
Yes.
And what is your organization doing? Because you mentioned that last year you were able to support 200 families, and during the month of Ramadan, and now just few days to the Ramadan. What is your organization doing in this difficult time, to also support families in this coming Ramadan and amid the coronavirus?
To be honest, Mr. Fadi, it's a big challenge, because knowing that you are in the field to help the less privileged, and people already recognize your job. You have been there for people. And like I said, when the first outbreak was confirmed here in the Gambia, everybody was panicked. Everybody was panicked. And we came to understand that we were already receiving funding towards the Ramadan package. But the first moment that we were able to accumulate, we said to ourselves, maybe in the next 2 weeks to come, there will be a shortage of food. So we had to rush and get in some foodstuffs and keep them as a storage. But then again, we came to understand that there was nothing that was catered for these poor families that are forced to stay home during this pandemic. Because we started going to their homes to sensitize them about the COVID-19, how to stay safe with their families, how to wash their hands, how to, to avoid, to keep it properly distant. But then they will have concerns that they raise. They said to us, how can we stay home knowing that we depend on hand to mouth? How can we stay home when there is no food to feed our loved ones? That hunger is worse than COVID-19, which they were right. We were baffled with that statement. So we had to go back home, and we had to brainstorm within our midst. The food stuff that we were already buying for Ramadan, we had to bring that out to start distributing to these families. Right now, we're working with over 300 families, and we know their homes, we know what they are going through, we know what their living condition is. So imagine this kind of conditions. You cannot just stay home knowing that there are families out there today. They are struggling to survive during this pandemic. So we had to give out the food stuff that we already catered for Ramadan. Because you cannot wait for Ramadan if people are dying of hunger.
Right.
And not only that, we understood that we cannot give all of them. We cannot supply, we cannot provide for all those that are struggling during this pandemic. So what we did was, we had to come out on the media. This is the first time the HMD Charity Foundation is out to talk to people through the media, so that we can show the concern of these people that live in their homes. Because like we said, we are the voice of the voiceless. We are there to represent the less privileged. So we came out, that's why we are coming out, to voice out their concerns. that in as much as they are law-abiding citizens, they want to do what the government asks them to do, to stay indoors, to create social distance. Yes, they want to do this thing, but it's very difficult to do this thing, when there is no food to feed your families. And this is the message we are trying to send across, that people are struggling in their home. Just to give an example today, just not long ago, we went to a family to give out, because they were packaged, right now what we are giving is a bag of rice, 50 kg bag of rice, and then 10 kg of sugar. That's what we're giving all these families. We arrived to a home, and we found out that this woman was just sitting by the kitchen trying to fan the fire. There was a cooking pot on, and the kids were sitting there crying. Two of the kids were eating mango, It's not even ripe mango, the green one, the raw mango. When we came in, because they used to see us, like I said, we have been working with these families for the past years now. We didn't just start because there's COVID-19.
Yes.
We started since 2016. So obviously we believe that if the media is telling people to stay at home, to be, some of this family might still not believe it because, they're illiterates. They might say, oh, this is just, rumors that they're saying. But if we go to them, because we have been there with them. We have been there for them. We have been working with them. So if you go, they will see us as their families. And they will believe us more than any other person. So we're going to talk to them, sensitize them. But when we went to this particular compound, Mr. Fati, what we saw, wallahi, it was touching. This woman, the moment she saw, we said, Assalamu alaikum, she responded. She saw us coming with a bag of rice. The moment we put the bag of rice down, the first thing she did was just to jump and take the knife and open the bag of rice and take some rice and imagine the cooking pot that she was cooking, open it and put rice there. That simply tells you there was just empty water boiling on the cooking pot.
Yes.
When we asked her, she said, this is 3 days today. 3 days. There is no food to feed her family. Sometimes you just go out, move around, whatever remaining she have from neighbors she will collect. But most of the time, it's not even enough to feed her family.
And that happened in the Gambia?
My brother, in the Serekunda here, in the Combo here, Serekunda here.
You've heard that there is 500 million that is disposed,
yes,
to fight the COVID-19. To help equip those at the forefront, the health workers at the forefront to fight COVID-19. In your opinion, what should have been done with that $500 million?
Thank you very much for that question, Mr. Fati. Because I myself, I've been asking myself, what is the government planning to do for the less privileged? Because that money is for them. That money is a taxpayer's money. It's what the government is contributing to fight COVID-19. Why is the indigenous paying tax? It's for their own well-being. So right now, what we expect from the government is to ensure that all, for example, let's say Banjul, they have their own community. The BCC is there. You have KMC, you have Brikama Area Council. They should share this taxpayers' money equally to their indigenous, to their localities, so it can be shared among those that are needy. You're talking about $500 million. Just last time I understood it's over $3 billion because World Bank already gave a grant of $10 million to fight COVID-19. In as much as I know the Ministry of Health are doing a lot in this fight, we all give them credit for that. And they are going through sleepless nights. But what I'm saying is, to help Ministry of Health to fight COVID-19 in the best way they can is to help keep people at home.
Yes.
And to keep people at home, you have to give them something to survive on.
Yes.
Because a hungry man is an angry man. If someone is hungry, he doesn't care what the loss is. And to keep this country so that people will live under peace and stability and to be law-abiding citizens, we have to make sure we give them something to survive on. And we all understand that this virus is something that attacks the weak immune system. That's why they said the elderly are more vulnerable.
Yes.
But then, if you are hungry, your immune system will be weak.
Yes.
So if they are not provided with the requirements that they need to stay at home, obviously you are attracting another kind of a disease again, which is you are being a contributor to make sure that their immune system gets weak. So to fight COVID-19, we all have a part to play. That's why I am calling on the government to tell them that this is a fight that we cannot do alone. It's a collective responsibility. We have organizations that have been in existence since way before COVID-19, like HMHRD, I'm telling you today.
Yes.
And other credible organizations who are working with individuals, with families that are in need. They know their problems. You cannot help someone if you don't know their problems, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Let them bring on board this organization, the local organizations, even these YAI campaigns. Let them bring them on board so they can share this funding equally, so that they can represent their localities, so that we can fight hunger. Because before fighting COVID-19, we have to fight hunger first.
Yes.
Because without hunger, people will go out on the streets.
That's true.
So the point here is that the government need to prioritize these fundings, so that those families that depends on hand to mouth, those families that depends on going out there to sell something and then to come back home and cook for their families, right now all this opportunity where they go and make feeding is locked down.
That's right. Let me, this brings me to this question. What is your source of funding as an organization? Where do you get the resources to be supporting those families with bags of rice, with sugar, building mugs or schools? This is a huge funding. Where, as an organization, do you derive such funding?
Thank you very much. This is the question that we keep hearing most of the times. Like I said, the reason why we came into existence is to help, to facilitate, to be the voice of the voiceless, to bridge the gap between the poor and the rich. And that is why what we have been doing since our inception was just to go through family and friends. If we see someone in need, we just talk to family and friends. We create a flyer, we have a write-up about it, we share it to family and friends here in the Gambia and in diaspora. And we have regular donors, my brother, regular Gambians who are, wallahi, they are great philanthropists. Whenever there is someone in need, they will do the little that they can to help these families. This is what we have been doing. We are not working with any NGO. We never won any grant. We never had any funding from the government. We never have any funding from a particular organization. No, we never even had any funding from, to say, these big companies. I think the only, if I can fully remember, is, no, it never even happened. We never received any funding from any local organization here in the Gambia. Sometimes we do write sponsorship letters, but no, to be honest, most of them is not positive. The feedback is not positive. So what we depend on is individual donations. Every penny that we raise is through individual donation from brothers in England, in America, in Canada, different places of the diaspora. That's how we raise funding. And also here in the Gambia, you see someone who just come and say, honestly, I have $1,000, but I believe in what you guys are doing, because you're making an impact. And this is what I can contribute. That's why we accept every small contribution. So to be honest, we take small changes to make it big, or make a big impact on the life of these families. That's how we have been working until today.
Now we are on the first week of April. Still now the COVID-19 is endemic. Yes. With still high chance of getting cases or high chance of the virus spreading across the Gambia. What measures do you put in place in the coming week, this week and in the coming week, to help the families that are vulnerable with the basic needs, so as for them to stay at home? Any activity, do you have any activity that you want to embark on? Yes, we have already started. Like I said, the first week that the COVID-19 case was announced, and people were asked to stay home, to be safe, we feel like the least we can do as an organization is to help. Because if you say you're to help make a difference, to help people, you cannot just fold your hands now. Sometimes I'll be going and my wife is like, they say we should stay home, we are going out to Rishula. I say yes, but remember, I have a commitment. In as much as my family here, but these families out there are also my families. Because we went to them and we told them that we are your families, you are in need and you need someone to talk to. We are always here to listen to you. And the way we help is not only to give them funding, no. Some of these families, they need counseling. They will call and say, honestly, I'm confused, I need someone to talk to. We go there and we will try to be there with them. So in this time where the whole country is under panic, this is the time they need us the most. We cannot just sit at home and look after our families. Remember what we said. That's why I said, always look out for those that you are better off. And this on the mission that we are. And that is why what we have started doing is, we first of all went to the Minister of Health
told them what we are doing as an organization, and we want to help in sensitization. They gave us posters, and they gave us instructions how to create awareness. Because to create awareness about COVID-19, I always say this, you don't have to be a doctor or health personnel to sensitize people. The instructions are well given to us by WHO and Ministry of Health. It's all over the news. So we could all be people that sensitize our communities from our home level. Do you understand?
I understand.
So we started going to the houses, like I said, we're going to households. Right now we have over 300 lists on our list. We want to exhaust this list first. We will go into any other outsider. So what we're doing is, we have a van, we put a big speaker on it, and we're doing a community outreach. We'll be in the van talking about COVID-19 is real, protect your family, be safe. And all of that, we also go in doing house-to-house campaign. We go there, we show them how to wash their hands. Because most of them, we come to learn that, in as much as people are saying about COVID-19, but they're still not aware. One of them just told me that, yes, whenever we go to the toilet, we wash our hands with soap. But is that the only preventive measures? No. Some of them, you go to their homes, there's nothing at their door to make sure that you have to wash your hands. I tell them, even if they come to my house, you wash your hand before you pass inside. So we're teaching them these instructions, these methods. And some will tell us, definitely, what you just said here today, it will make a big impact in our life. And from now on, we will do it. Simply, like I said to you, if you're there for someone, when you come and talk to them, they will listen. This is why we feel like we are a better medium of communication than any other person right now, being the TV or the radio. Because this, I'm not talking about other family, I mean this 300 families that we have been working with for the past years. Just going to them, they will see us as their family, so they will listen. This is what we have been doing. And not only that, we are also using our Facebook page, our website, to create media sensitization, something like drama, sort of 2 minutes, 3 minutes drama message, to tell people how to create social distance, the importance of listening to what WHO is saying, because it is only way we will stay safe. We are also creating flyers. We are making sure our volunteers, we have over 100 volunteers. Then they are all trained and they are all equipped to understand the preventive measures of COVID-19. And then they are all ambassadors of different communities. They are spreading the messages. But our most important fight today is to ensure that these families that depend on hand to mouth, that depends on going out there and make a small sale and come back to feed their families, how will we keep them safe in their homes so they will not come out, but still they will have feeding in their homes? This is our mission right now. It's our bigger mission, to make sure these families that are forgotten by the society will voice out their concerns. We can have enough to supply them. Right now, this is our fight, and we are not going to relax until we make sure that these families that we're talking about, they have something to keep at home throughout this crisis. And inshallah, even if we have more, then we can also extend to other families out there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Balajo. Your final words, we run out of time. You can tell us in your final words, what arrangement did you put in place? We understand that you have 300 families that is on your list.
Over 300 families.
Over 300 families that you want to target. And then how soon, what day, if there is any, that you hope to meet these people? And then where are they located? Is it within the Serekunda N or within the Berkama N, or what region are they located? And then, of course, you may also share the information with people that wants to partner with you in providing some of those basic needs that you could share with the families, because you mentioned that there is sometimes that that is the source of getting funding. So in 3 minutes time, can you just wrap it up?
Thank you very much, Mr. Fati. Like I was saying before, the families that we are trying to cater for right now, they are not only in the Kombo area here. They are in different geographical locations. We have all the way to Basa, like I was telling you before, Farafenye, Kiang, Birkama. We not only focus on the Kombo area. We have volunteers all over these regions. But the most important part is that we know what their conditions are, and we know what they are going through. And that is why we cannot sit and just forget them like that. Our mission right now is to make sure the issue of urgency, of course, there is nothing more urgent than this right now. So that's why we have started. We have started giving up, but we know what we have is not enough to cater for all these families. That's why we're coming out to tell people that we have our brothers and sisters who are in need. They are in need of your help. And it's only together that we can fight COVID-19. And to fight COVID-19, we have to make sure we eradicate hunger first. That's why we invite everybody, from the individual. Like I said, even you have $100 you want to donate, just call these numbers. We have our office. we invite business, the business committee, politicians, everyone who want to partner with us, organizations, we are open. Even if you just want to donate, if you have 10 bags of rice, you want to distribute it, you don't know where to give it to, call us. We will come and we will go with you with our van. We'll make sure you will come with us and we'll show you the family that are in need and you give it yourself. Our mission is just to serve, to make sure these families that are forgotten, they have the help that they deserve. That's our mission. So even if you have a token of money you want to give out, you want to come with us, see what we're doing, we can always be at your disposal. We buy the stuff, we go with you and you give out these items to these families. And we have our office in Bakau Newtown, just opposite the Basiru Jawara Mosque, just under the Swedish Consulate. That's Bakau Newtown, opposite the Basiru Jawara Mosque. That's where our office is located. We open from Mondays to Thursdays every day, from 9 to 3, because even the staff there is not paid, it's voluntary, so they cannot open for the whole week. So none of us is being paid, we're just giving our free time. So we are there from Mondays to Thursdays. If you want to meet us in person, if you want to call also, you can always call 3725 That number is always available on WhatsApp. You can always call us, inshallah. If you also want to follow what we are doing, you can go to our Facebook page. It's more updated because HMD Charity Foundation. You can always follow our updates because most of the time we give progress of all our updates, where your funding is going to, where your families, the families that are benefiting from your donations. So definitely this is the message we have. And like I said earlier on, this COVID-19 fight, this is a trial for the whole globe. This is the time that you have been tried on your wealth, you have been tried on your profession, you have been tried on your time. This is the time that we can all share from the blessing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with. Because after this, you will be asked, what have you sacrificed on your blessing to help those that are in need during this pandemic?
Thank you very much. That was Sehu Balajo taking us through the gestures that they have been providing to families in the Gambia and communities. Of course, they have provided support by way of provisions to families, building mosques in schools, and also providing psychological support or counseling to the people that need it most. Until we come your way next week, I was your host, Mamadou Fati, and thank you very much.